Hey guys, Bugcat7 here. Okay, it is Monday, September 16, 2019, and I want to thank you for visiting the Stonewall Research channel here on YouTube. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Okay, gang, well, in this video, we are going to talk about the Ice Age psychopathy. And the reason why I have to do this, I guess, is because periodically I'm going to have to go through this on my channel because there's a lot of ideas on my channel that people never heard about, either through mainstream or even alternative. I'm even beyond that in some of my ideas and theories and hypotheses, and some of them aren't even my own. They're just ones that you haven't heard much about for some reason. Okay, so look, my latest video that I did on the Michigan copper, I talked about the Ice Age because it's mentioned in the article. Okay. All right. So somebody had, I mentioned in the article, and I said, no, just skip that because on my channel, I do not believe in an ice age, any ice ages or anything like that. So one of the commenters said, a guy that says glaciation is BS does not deserve my ear for a second. I do not follow anymore. So I more or less replied to him, good, get lost. Stick with the mainstream bullshit. You deserve it. Okay, so this guy was like, Mommy, he said the Ice Age was BS. Oh, don't worry, sonny boy. He's a bad man. Yeah. Is the Ice Age real, Mommy? Well, it's a theory, son. Well, what's a theory, Mom? Well, it's a really good guess by smart guys. Oh, really, Mommy? Can I do really smart guesses too one day? Yeah, son. You can guess about anything you want as long as you go to the right university. Just like Alice Herdlischka, the head of the Bureau of Ethnology at the Smithsonian. Oh, wait. I guess not, 'cause he was wrong, so that's a bad example, but you know what I mean. Oh, good, Mommy. I'm going to become a scientist and say whatever I want. Look, what's a theory? Do you even know what a theory is? Let's take a look at what a theory is, all right? So, I'm going to read from this vocabulary.com. They say, when you have a theory, you have a set of beliefs. Wow, beliefs. Similar to those that attend religious ceremonies, I would imagine. Or principles. Oh, principles. Lofty word there. But it's sort of in the subjective sense. That might not be proven yet. Does anyone have a good theory for where missing socks go when you do laundry? Very funny. A theory is a set of accepted beliefs or organized principles that explain and guide analysis, and one of the ways that theory is defined is that it is different from practice. When certain principles are tested, for example, you could be a musician who plays well, but who doesn't have a lot of experience with the theory of music. This word is a noun and comes from the Greek theoria, which means contemplation or speculation. Speculation, quote unquote. Okay, so, even in this description here, it sort of contradicts itself. Okay, so a musician who plays well but doesn't have a lot of experience with the theory of music could quite possibly play better than anybody who has a theory of music and can play music. Okay, so what are we talking about? Okay, let's just look a little bit down over here. Okay, so A theory is a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world, an organized system of accepted knowledge that applies in a variety of circumstances to explain a specific set of phenomena. Okay, so let's look at this one here, which is even more interesting to me. A tentative insight into the natural world, a concept that is not yet verified, but that, if true, would explain certain facts or phenomena. Ooh, isn't that interesting, huh? Doesn't sound completely objective to me. Okay, so let's look at this ice age thing, okay? And what they say here is a long period of reduction in the temperature of the Earth's surface and atmosphere, resulting in the presence or expansion of continental and polar ice sheets and alpine glaciers. Okay, so I don't even want to go through this. I rather would have gotten to Louis Agassiz here, which is, let's see if they even mention this guy here. All right, get up to Agassiz. If I can find him in here. Okay, Louis Agassiz. He was the man. All right, so he was an American, Swiss-American biologist and geologist. Remember, this is 1807, okay? How advanced do you think biology and geology was in 1807? Real advanced? Doubt it. Okay? They talk about this jackass here, and let's get down to the meat here. Okay, down to the ice age here. Okay, let's just read this a little bit. Agassiz proposed that the Earth had been subjected to the past ice age by what's been observed, all the loam, the rock all over the place, the grinding on surfaces, blah, 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 blah. He presented the theory to the Helvetic Society. Theory. Okay? Not a fact, not proof. Theory. You get it? Okay, and I even mentioned this in my video, okay, on debunking the Ice Age, all right, that people have a tendency to take theories as proofs or facts. Remember, a tentative insight, a concept that is not yet verified. But that if true, so it's not true. If it was true, it would explain certain facts and phenomena, but we don't know if it's true. You see? Okay? And their evidence is flimsy. All right? And I refer in my video here, which I happen to be showing right now, Andrew Hall, okay, in the arc blasted Earth, okay, where arc blasting occurred, which they believe, okay, these researchers who are comprised of physicists and geologists and electrical physicists and geophysicists and astrophysicists, a whole bunch of them, okay, and when you look at the Grand Canyon, okay, you see that right there? What's that look like to you? All right? I think it looks sort of like this. You see? Where some lightning has struck the ground and made all of these lines in there. Similar to this. You see? And how the Grand Canyon was formed, well, that's a theory too. Theory. You get it? Okay? So, the Grand Canyon was an entry point for this interplanetary electrical discharge, and the Eye of the Sahara, where everybody says Atlantis is where the thing exited. You see this? See what's going on in there? All right? This is where it came out. It blasted in here, and it came out here. Okay? All right? And apparently, people who accept the Ice Age, you know, of course, we've all been brainwashed in the Brainwashing Academy in our subpar education, okay, that I've talked about before with John Taylor Gatto, the 3-time New York State Teacher of the Year winner and overall Teacher of the Year total for New York State for a few years there, wrote a book about how our education sucks and it's a piece of crap. Okay? But, you know, Teacher of the Year, who cares? Okay, so here's Harry Hubbard in his video, okay, that I refer to from my video, who can explain it to you a lot better. I'll leave a link to this, okay, and in his video there, he mentions Immanuel Velikovsky, okay, and his book, Earth in Collision, Worlds in Collision, Earth in Upheaval, okay. So, without reading everything about Velikovsky here, of course, you know, this guy was summarily, you know, and roundly dismissed from his ideas. But just let's read about him a little bit here, about, you know, without reading where he got educated at the University of Edinburgh, or whatever it is, okay, so Velikovsky, upon his medical degree, Velikovsky left Russia for Berlin with the financial support of his father. Velikovsky edited and published 2 volumes of scientific papers translated into Hebrew. The volumes were titled Scripta Universitatis Attica Bibliothecae. I don't know, I can't even pronounce it. Writings of the Jerusalem University Library. He enlisted Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein. He enlisted, just, you know, Albert Einstein, to prepare the volume dealing with the mathematics and physics. Okay, so, whoa, you know, why did he pick such a dummy like that to do that? I don't know. Why did the dummy there agree to do it? The project was a cornerstone in the formation of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. That's all. Nothing much. Okay, so, and also, Harry Hubbard mentions this guy, William Corliss. Okay, so who is William Corliss? I love this Wikipedia article here that neglects to mention a whole bunch of things about this guy, okay, including where he went to school. And I think one of the reasons why it's not mentioned where he went to school is because the school does not want to be associated with this person, okay? So let's read through this. Well, there's an American physicist and writer who is known for his interest in collecting data regarding anomalous phenomena. Arthur C. Clarke described him as, quote, Fort's latter day and much more scientific successor, okay? So, unquote. So that's Charles Fort, okay? So I'm not going to even read the whole thing to you here about Corliss here, but let's just take a look about what he neglected to mention a whole bunch of stuff about him. But just let's go down to his bibliography here and see what he wrote here. Okay, so I just go through it here. You'll see what he wrote here and everything. Oh, just a couple things. Not much. Okay, just wrote a couple of things. All right. So let's read a little bit more about Corliss, because, you know, he's also sort of forgotten about. Arthur C. Clarke talked about him and everything. Have you ever heard of him? I bet you haven't. Okay, so just at the bottom of this, all right, Corliss wrote many other books and articles, notably including 13 educational books about astronomy, outer space, and space travel for NASA. Only for NASA. No big institution or anything, and a similar number for the Atomic Energy Commission and National Science Foundation. That's all. Nothing much there, okay? And from what I could see of the critics, and I went looking for articles and critiques because I want to know, are they dismiss them on such grounds or whatever? And I want to see precisely what they're referring to because old Bugcat 7 here, I'm an expert of breaking down the bullshit out of all of these articles that are published by mainstream, okay? A person in a legal profession once told me I was too smart after I ran circles around them and made them feel like an idiot, okay? That's what they said, and I said to them, is there such a thing as being too smart? Yeah, what she meant was too smart for my own good. See, because stupid people don't like it when you're smart. Okay? Okay, so let me just read a bit about the reception to his books here. Okay, so because his stuff was about anomalies. Geographical anomalies, astronomical anomalies, biological anomalies, okay, and he's been, said that supports creationist theory and all this kind of stuff. And again, folks, if you're thinking about there was some genetic engineering of some sort, which I've gone through in many of my videos over here, that seems to be something like that going on in the ancient past. Okay? And it just so happens that Homo sapiens, turned up out of nowhere 200,000 years ago. And they don't have a direct link. There's still that missing link, right? So, look, in his book, Unexplained, Jerome Clark describes Corliss as an essentially conservative in outlook. He explains, quote, Corliss is more interested in unusual weather, ball lightning, geophysical oddities, extraordinary mirages, and the like. In short, anomalies that, while important in their own right, are far less likely to outrage mainstream scientists than those delighted for it, such as UFOs, monstrous creatures, and other sorts of extraordinary events and entities, unquote. Okay, so the more crosses more into my own research. It's all tied together in some way, in some form, but that's my stuff, okay? Arthur C. Clarke said, unlike Fort, Corliss selected his material almost exclusively from scientific journals like Nature and Science, not newspapers. So it has already been subjected to a filtering process which would have removed most hoaxes and reports from obvious cranks. Nevertheless, there is much that is quite baffling in some of these reports from highly reputable sources. The meteorologist Charles A. Doswell has praised the research of Corliss, stating his documentation of anomalies was intriguing. However, the geologist Henry Fall has criticized Corliss. In a review for a handbook of unusual natural phenomena, Fall noted, Corliss is particularly prone to classify things as unexplained, even when a good explanation is available. Oh, you mean one of those theories that you're talking about? That's the good explanation that you're talking about? Mr. Fall, okay, I looked up this Henry Fall. He's a physicist at Cornell University, okay? He's one of these guys who's just a crybaby too, Anybody who challenges the accepted paradigm that Alice Herdlischka so kindly set up for everybody in the field of science, then, they go crying for their mommy, okay? So, grossly incomplete, naively uncritical, supplied with inaccurate sketches, many of them fictitious like the illustrations of old novels, and lacking an author index. It's no handbook at all. Instead of giving new access to genuinely mysterious observation, it only buries a few of them in a clutter of confused esoterica. Okay, so look. If you want to challenge the mainstream, okay, what's gonna happen to you is like what happened to Velikovsky, okay, and they hammered this guy, and as it turns around at later dates that Velikovsky was right about a number of things that, they're not gonna admit to, but Carl Sagan had to apologize on air for, giving the guy the treatment and all that kind of stuff. Well, here's some more of these jerks over here who are frustrated, who wish they had the notoriety of Corliss. In a review for a book that documented astronomical anomalies, the astronomer Joseph Vaverka wrote that Corliss had shown negligence of the scientific literature for more than a decade and made incorrect statements. However, Richard Baum wrote mostly positive review, stating that it was objective work and, quote, his reviews are concise and well referenced. And if on occasion his examples are questionable, we do at least have the benefit of the bibliographies, which will be useful to historians, unquote. So who's right, this Faust guy or this other guy here, Richard Baum, okay? I don't see this Faust, I don't see Fall, his name's Fall. I don't see him highlighted there in Wikipedia because he's a shitbag, that's why. The reviewer of The New Scientist noted that the book Incredible Life had an agenda to challenge evolutionary theory, as Corliss believed that natural selection fails to explain biological mysteries. That's right. Fails to explain biological mysteries. So that's tough shit. Too effing bad. All right? These people are little overgrown adolescents, okay? Just started shaving, got their first hair in their private places. This is nonsense, okay? Because you have this political thing going on in science, and it's, like Rupert Sheldrake, when he read in their data, mainstream accepted data, that the quantitative analysis of gravity in their literature, that the value had changed. So he went to the top science physicist in Britain and said, hey, I read this stuff in your books here. What about this thing that gravity changes and whatnot? And the guy there said, oh dear, you found out our little dirty secret. Okay, so listen, okay? Get with it. Get with the program, all right? There's a lot of stuff that we're being asked to take as fact that isn't fact. And the way that they teach it in school is they don't teach it as theory, or whatever part that theory handles and encompasses, somehow that goes right out the window. And all those words like probable and maybe and possibly and could be and blah, 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 which are all perfectly fine. The problem is that you got people who read that stuff or remember it from their bullshit education and say, how dare you say that the Ice Age isn't real? Well, back to the theory by Louis Agassiz, okay? A tentative insight into the natural world, a concept that is not yet verified, but that, if true, would explain certain facts around it. It's not true, you get it? Only if you can imagine it's true. Then it explains certain facts or phenomena. Well, how is it that their theories are any better than Corliss's or Velikovsky's? Okay? They're not. They just got together, had some golf and some drinks and a little bit of lunch at the clubhouse there on the golf course, and they said, you know what? I like this theory better. All right? So, look, you're welcome to believe in the Ice Age if you want. That's your choice, okay? But the whole thing comes from 1837, okay? And if you think theories from 1837 are good, I'm sure you'll like all the ones on phrenology and all that kind of stuff that the Nazis used in their eugenics program. All right? And, this guy wasn't without criticisms either in his time, okay? There were a number of people who wrote criticisms on the Ice Age, okay? But we don't hear anything about them, like Holworth there, who's trying to explain there was a series of floods and catastrophes on this planet, which makes more sense. There's obviously evidence of catastrophes and cataclysms happening on this planet at different times. Floods. that explain all this hydrology of water and blah, 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 blah. Okay? All right? So when you got the arc blasted Earth, okay, and with, rock being strewn from here to the equator, like in Harry Hubbard's video here, where you see right here it says, Harry saying, oh, glaciers at the equator? Sure, why not? There could be glaciers at the equator, can't there? Okay? You don't need any ice. You just reach out and grab it for your margarita there. And your, drinks there at the outdoor cafe at, St. Martin's. All right? So, look, no ice age on this channel. Okay? We don't believe in that in this channel. We follow the electric universe and what happened here on this arc-blasted Earth. Okay? All right? There's more evidence of this, okay? And see, the thing about electrical phenomena, electrical physics, to do with electricity, it's scalable. So you can do as many experiments as you want, because all the experiments are valid from small to large, okay? What they have as their physics is 100% theory, okay? They can't do the experiments that demonstrate what goes on in the universe because it's completely theoretical. Where electromagnetism, experiments with electromagnetism can be done any day of the week at any time by anyone, okay? And show evidence. Remember, they thought that comets were snowy, snowballs in space. Well, after they landed a probe on one, they found them, they were dry as a bone. But for some reason, these comets are producing water out the tails, but they look like a desert. Okay? And they're scratching their heads at NASA. You know why? Because they're effing wrong. About 95% every time they send a probe up somewhere, they come back and they're like surprised and dumbfounded and they don't understand. And the reason why is because they're starting with the wrong premise, which is Einsteinian theory, which in the Thunderbolts universe, okay, the electric universe, that's a bunch of nonsense. Okay? So, look, no ice age, okay? And if you want to, leave the channel because you don't like it, okay? A guy that says glaciation is BS does not deserve my ear for a second. I do not follow anymore. Okay, so take your theory and get lost, okay? The tentative insight in a concept that is not yet verified, but that, if true, would explain certain facts or phenomena. Take it and beat it. Put an egg in your shoe and beat it. All right? Anyway, guys, I just had to go through this again. I'm sorry. I have to repeat these kind of videos on my channel because it's very difficult to crack the brainwashing, whether it's the Bering Strait or the New World, and that Sumeria was the cradle of civilization when you got 40,000-year-old, 30,000-year-old civilizations in the Americas, and that, the influence of Asian in the Americas and the African influence is just the opposite. It went out from the Americas elsewhere in the world, and the Americas have been being visited for millennia by many different kinds of people. Any kinds of stories by the natives about people coming here could very well be true, okay? But they dealt with everybody in all of the Americas. That long before Christopher Columbus and American Vespucci and the Vikings and the blah, 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 blah. So, look. All right? So, it's hard to crack this brainwashing and the New World bias, New World. Why is it new? Because I said so. That's my theory. My mommy said so. All right? So, anyway, guys, I'm going to end this. All right, Bugcat7. Signing out. Thank you very much. Hit the like button. Peace.